Okay, so for capacitors, we have some general rules that I'm just going to write down up at the top here. The most important that we'll use a lot is Q is equal to C times V. I guess we'll just get started. So the first thing we want to do is we want to I want to convert these two parallel capacitors. I want to combine them together. And I want to do the same thing here. So when I combine resistors that are in parallel, when I combine capacitors that are in parallel, I add the capacitance. So I'm going to end up with a circuit that looks like this. Where this is my battery, and this is 24 volts. Whoops. And now my capacitance here, when I have two capacitors in parallel, I will add them. So that means I'm going to have 6 microfarads here. And the same thing here, I'm going to add them. So 8 plus 4 is 12 microfarads. And now I have these two capacitors in series. So I'm going to want to combine them because what I want to find is I want to find the total Q. So I want to find the equivalent capacitance for my circuit. So I want to end up with a circuit that looks like this, where this capacitor represents the combination of these two. So for this one, I'm going to have 1 over C, and I just call it EQ for equivalent. It's kind of like the combination, I guess. So 1 over 6 microfarads plus 1 over 12 microfarads. And now I need to find a common denominator here, so it's going to be 12. So I'll put 12 on the bottom. So 1/6 is equal to 2/12 plus I've got 1/12. Okay, so that tells me that I have 1 over C EQ is equal to 3 over 12. So when I flip this up, my CEQ is equal to 12 over 3, and 12 over 3 is equal to 4. So this equivalent capacitance is 4 microfarads, and that represents the capacitance of the whole circuit. So I've combined these two first in parallel, then combine these, so I got them in series up here, and then I want to combine the two that are in series, and I get this one. So this one represents all of that. So now, if I know that this is 24 volts, I can use that first equation that we talked about, which is Q is equal to C times V. So I'm going to have 24 times 4, which is 96. So that's the total charge, QT. Total charge in my circuit is going to be 96 microcoulombs. Okay, so now I know for a series circuit up here, for this circuit, I know that my charge, so for series, one of the rules is that Q, the total Q is equal to Q1 plus Q2 plus Q2. So meaning that for capacitors in series like this, the total charge that I found, this has the same amount of charge. So QT is equal to Q1. Oops, did I? Oh, I might have done that wrong. Yeah, so this is wrong. Let me delete that. So if I erase that. Okay, so this should be equal. So Q1 is, oops, still didn't do it. All right, is equal to